Hello, everyone. Hope you are having a great night. So, the past few days, I've been watching the second round with the NCAA tournament with the women's college basketball teams. So, everyone's fighting to win the championship. It's been like really crazy the past few days. I would say the last 2 days because, all the teams were in their second round. So, I did see the game on Sunday with South Carolina and University of Miami. And, I'm going to get to that in a second with Don Staley team, University of Miami. But I also want to talk about, just for a minute or so, about all these other teams that were playing. Because I did watch the other teams, to get a feel for how they play and who they're going to come against because I'm actually rooting for South Carolina to win the championship. So my reason for watching these other games is to see, who they're up against. And everybody out to win. Like they fighting, they battling, they pushing each other. They're like hurting each other on the court. It's just been crazy. So it's just something that you guys need to do. Just watch the games because it's just getting like very intense right now. So now I want to talk about South Carolina versus Miami. I know I said I was going to talk about the other teams, but I want to get to South Carolina and Miami right quick. South Carolina beat Miami, but to me, the way South Carolina was playing, they was lucky they even won because the way they were playing, it was so many errors. And to me, I feel like they were lucky they played against a team like Miami. Not saying Miami is like easy, because Miami could have beat them possibly, but obviously Miami didn't have a good game themselves. But with South Carolina, they had a bad game, even though they won. I just felt like the way South Carolina was playing, and if they played, I would say Stanford or I don't know, Stanford, Connecticut, or Texas, they probably would have been close to losing. So that Sunday, it was a lucky day for winning because number one, there were a lot of the players that missed free throws. Like I'm gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Like Aaliyah Boston, she got to the free throw line twice and she missed all four of her free throws. The first time she had two shots, she missed both of them. And then she got fouled again. Got on the free throw, missed both of them. I'm like, what in the world is up with her? And like her game was just off. And she had no business missing those free throws. Like free throws win games. That is very important in the game. Free throws. Like 3-point shots, they're important too, but free throws, they're like just as important as 3-point shots. And that was one of their main problems, the free throws being missed. I know Cardoso, she played a good game, but she missed her free throws. I think her only problem were the free throws, but other than that, she played a good game. She had other stuff going on, like just doing good, going in the paint and shooting. And I think she stepped it up, but I think she stepped it up higher than Aaliyah Boston because Aaliyah Boston was having problems in the paint for a while. She was struggling a bit during that game. So to me, Cardoso had to step it up. Cardoso was the one scoring the points because Leah Boston wasn't stepping it up like she was supposed to. So Cardoso had to take that place. But Cardoso's problem, like I said, were the free throws. Other than that, she stepped it up. And then at the end of the game, they gave Aaliyah Boston like player of the game. To me, they should have gave that to Cardoso. That's just my opinion. So I want to talk about Zia Cook. Now I give her props. She scored the first shot of the game, first points for the team, like when the game first started during the first quarter. So she did her 3-point shot, and she was the I would say she was the one that got the team like started and getting them hyped up, in the beginning of the game with starting the point. So I give her that. Another problem she had was she was doing too many offensive fouls. They was calling her for offensive fouls. I didn't like that. And they were doing that because she kept getting the ball. See, the thing is, when you're getting the ball, I believe maybe she was getting a rebound, or the ball, it turned out to be a turnover maybe. And she was taking the ball on the other side. Now she's good at that, like maybe getting the rebounds and stealing the ball, or just happen to get the ball if the team, if the other team, happen to turn it over. She's good at getting that and taking it over to the other side. But when she do that, she rushes in the middle, and then it's like she throws the ball up and miss. To me, I'm like, okay, you're doing too much. When you get the ball, just slow it down. Because when she gets the ball, she causes her offensive fouls. I think she gets too wild with it. It's okay to speed through, but she gets too wild with it. So if I was her coach, I'd have been like, look, if you just get the ball, slow it down, give it to the point guard. I would just like calm her down in that way. Because I think she had maybe 3 or 4 offensive fouls, something around that. So now I need to speak with her about that, because that's not going to help, as long as they're trying to, get to the championship game. That's not going to help the team. And another thing I saw with Destiny Henderson, how she threw the ball too hard and that her teammate couldn't catch it. Like, you have to be like very aware. I mean, I know things like that happen because I've seen where other teams, they'll throw the ball so hard their team can't catch it. So something like that, you have to be very aware of where your teammate is. You don't want to throw it too hard to the point where you're just throwing it like, you're throwing a football. You have to be like very aware of where they're at. Like in football, they're throwing the ball to their teammate to try to get a touchdown. So you have to look at it like that. Okay, so in the beginning of the game with South Carolina, their defense was kind of like, I think it was kind of weak in the beginning, but I noticed they stepped it up during the second quarter. So I was glad their defense, was getting there, because that defense, that's important as well. Now, Miami, I was surprised to see how the way they played. I thought they were actually going to give South Carolina some competition, because to me, South Carolina, some of them players were just off that day. Not all of them, but some, like Aaliyah Boston. I think they were trying to stop her. Like it was 4 or 5 of them, or 3. They were too busy trying to stop her, and I think she was struggling a bit. They did have good defense, Miami. They're not afraid to go in the paint. See, that's the thing. With some teams, I noticed that they'll get the ball and they try to shoot from the outside too much. They try to get those threes. Okay, it's okay to shoot threes, but when you see you missing so much or it's not going in, go in the paint. Because I've seen in some tournaments where, some teams could be losing because they're too busy trying to shoot from the outside. You have to say, okay, I got to go in the paint. I need to get fouled. So if it's not working for you in the outside, go in the paint, get fouled. You're better off getting fouled, get your free throws in. Because if you keep shooting on the outside, then that other team's going to get that rebound. They're going to take it back to the other side, most likely. So you could try to shoot your 3, give it maybe 2 chances, especially if you're not a 3-point shooter. I can see if you're that 3-point shooter. For instance, I was watching Notre Dame yesterday, the girls, women's college basketball team, and I think they played, let me see, because I did watch, the other teams play. Let me see who they played. Yeah, they played Oklahoma, and they beat the mess out of Oklahoma. That Olivia Miles in Notre Dame, she a freshman. That girl could play her butt off. But her teammate Mabry, now she's an example. Mabry is a 3-point shooter. Mabry shot like, I think she shot like over 5 3-point shots because her points could have been. Let me see. I know she scored some good points yesterday. Mabry scored 29 points. But she had at least maybe, looked like she shot like 4. I say the maximum possibly was 5 3-point shots. I'll just say that, at least 4 or 5 3-point shots. So she's an example of someone that should be on the outside shooting threes because she's a 3-point shooter. But when you know you're not like a 3-point shooter, you can try to shoot the 3, but you got to go in the paint. 3-point shooters stay as a 3-point shooter. You're not that 3-point shooter, then you need to just go in the paint and get fouled. Like, you have to like really think smart about it. So Notre Dame, they beat Oklahoma. Notre Dame score was 108. Oklahoma was 64. And then I'm sad that Arizona's not going to make it all the way to the Sweet Six. Well, I would say to at least Elite Eight because they lost against the University of North Carolina. I was sad to see them out just out the tournament. I was like, oh man. Well, there's next year. And let me see. Okay, so I want to go back to South Carolina and the Miami game. Aaliyah Boston, now she's good at getting rebounds. I'll give her that. And another thing, they put Littleton in the game. Littleton, I believe she scored her 3-point shot. But I don't think she gets the minutes like she should. I know she was in the game, but I noticed her minutes are not that long enough. But I did see a mistake that she did when she turned the ball over to the other team. Like, she immediately just threw the ball like she was giving it to the other team, and they took it down, and I think they scored a layup. So that was a mistake. I think her error was when she got the ball, because maybe she's so used to being on the outside shooting threes. When she got the ball, when you have the ball and you're passing it to your teammates to figure out how you're going to get it to the basket. I think when she had her back turned to the basket, she should have tried to go in the paint to get fouled. She didn't try to go in the paint to get fouled. When she had her back turned from the net and she was giving it to her teammate, that's when the other team took the ball. So I was like, well, she should have tried to go in the paint and shoot. Because I think at that moment, they were struggling. Like, they kept figuring out how we're going to get the ball in the hoop. But she should have just took it in the paint. And that's all I want to talk about for that game. South Carolina was lucky they won that game. So the score for that game, let me see. So South Carolina had 49. University of Miami had 33. So the next time they're playing, I know they played this Friday. They're playing against University of North Carolina. Hmm. I'm looking forward to watching that game. And before I end this talk with you guys, I want to talk about the UCF and Connecticut game. Because boy, oh boy, them UCF chicks was in for a battle with Connecticut yesterday. Like, they were just ready to, it seemed like they were ready to fight them girls on the Connecticut team. And I was actually rooting for UCF to be Connecticut. I'm not really enthused about Connecticut going all the way to the finals. I do want Connecticut to lose, not to be mean, but I want somebody to beat Connecticut. So they beat UCF. Like, that was a tough game. Like, a lot of pushing. Like, UCF girls are like, actually, I know they like bumping basketball, but them UCF girls are like really like coming at University of Connecticut. Like, it was a lot of fighting, pushing going on. Like, they were like intentionally bumping the Connecticut chicks. And I know Connecticut play Indiana. Ooh, at University of Indiana, they're a good team. I hope Indiana be Connecticut. I really do want Indiana to be Connecticut. And I don't want to say I have a feeling Indiana gonna be Connecticut, but I just hope they be Connecticut. That's all I can say. And Tennessee made it to the Sweet 16. Now, when Tennessee play, I did watch Tennessee play Belmont. To be honest, Tennessee almost lost that game. They were close to losing that Belmont game. That was a good game. So they were lucky too, because Belmont, they was coming at them. So that's all I wanted to discuss. You all have a great night. Make sure you watch the Sweet 16 this weekend. It's Friday and Saturday. And have a great night.